Happy Men's History Month. August is Men's History Month. July is White History Month. We're now celebrating Men's History Month in August. And if ever men needed to come back, return to their natural nature, overcome their abnormal nature, which is of the woman, and return to their natural nature, it's now. If ever we needed that, we needed that. The world is falling apart because men are weak. And men are hated. And women hate men, but yet they truly need men. They can't help but need the man. It's in the nature. It's in the blood. And unfortunately, women, you're not going to find that right now. It's just so unfortunately, not really unfortunate. Oh, he fell. Well, he drunk. It's not really unfortunate because there is a way out for you ladies. You can go and forgive your mothers for turning you away from your father, imposing her will on you, recreating you in her image, because that's who you're acting like, your mother. Even those women who say, I would never be like my mother, you're like your mother. And it's never going to change until you go and forgive her as well. Hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. You imposed your will, you recreated me in your image, and I'm miserable. I'm not myself, I'm like you. I realize now you couldn't help it. And forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't ever ask for forgiveness. When you're wrong, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. And if the people have any decency in them at all, they will forgive. If they're not, there's nothing you can do about it. Don't even worry about it, don't care about it or anything, because that's their life if they don't want to forgive. You will go free, ladies. You can't wait on the men, and you can return to the Father, and ladies, you can have peace on earth. And men, you're never going to have it until you return to your Father. Every human being born of the flesh, meaning born through the woman, must be born of the Spirit of the Father. It's just the way it is. And you can make all the money in the world. You can be famous as 90 going north in the world. You can be popular. You can have everything and still be miserable inwardly because you have not admitted you were wrong for hating and forgiving. The only thing that's going to set you free from the darkness of your misery that comes through the mind and emotions is forgiveness. Ain't no way out. Before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must forgive. Before you enter into the kingdom of perfect peace, you must forgive. Ain't no way out. It just ain't no way out. Do what you want, though. Stay in your hell and act out. And every human being has the same problem. It's no different. It's Men's History Month, so I want to recognize this man. And this man apparently have done very well in the physical world as far as career-wise, and I guess money-wise, popularity-wise. And I can absolutely guarantee you, unless he has forgiven his mother and returned to his father, inwardly, he is miserable. He feels no different than anyone who has not forgiven. Because becoming famous, becoming the best boxer or whatever, is not going to set you free. All the people can glorify you and love you. They don't love you. They're getting something from you anyway, in their own mind. It's still not going to make you free. It'll make your ego feel good for a minute, but as soon as you're alone, as soon as the noise cease, you're back in reality. Isn't that like amazing? Think about that. Your mind and emotions are destroying you because they're of your father, the devil. And you call it you. So happy Men's History Month. I want to recognize this guy, Terence Crawford. According to ESPN, Terence Crawford dismantled Earl Spence Jr. in a career-defining victory, scored a ninth-round technical knockout to cement himself as one of the greatest in history. This is from Joseph Vance. Watch this.
Terence Bud Crawford.
He's 15-0 undefeated.
One thing I want to point out is Bud can switch from orthodox to southpaw.
Crawford, who's
Tough-looking kid.
maybe the best switch hitter in the history of the sport. Yeah, it's a big statement. He's, like I said before, he's Mickey Mantle.
Gets nailed again. He drops him on his nose, and Kenny Baylor doesn't bother to count. He's knocked out.
The current pound-for-pound king of the sport. A natural fighting genius, Crawford's instincts are perhaps his greatest asset.
He's special, like a Sugar Ray Leonard was special, like a Pernell Whitaker was special, like a Roberto Duran was special.
Controlled from start to finish by Omaha, Nebraska's unbeaten Terence Crawford.
There's the really good guy ones and the special.
This bout is over.
And he's a special one. The most instinctive, if not the most, one of the most instinctive fighters I've ever seen. His physical talent is up in the stratosphere.
The first man to hold all 4 belts in the division. The pound-for-pound king of the ring.
Amazing. Terence Crawford. They say the best of the best in boxing. And you look at him because you can't see, you just see the exterior, you go, wow, and you feel good for him. You feel happy for him. Some people feel jealous about it, but you feel it, and you never question, what's driving this man? What is really going on inwardly? But you're caught up with the glory of the physical, which only keep the ego alive and going. But what's really going on with this man? What's driving him? What is he thinking and feeling inwardly? I want to give you a little history on Clarence Crawford, according to the Daily Mail. But I want you to kind of have a little good feeling for a moment and seeing him knock out little people and wear the most belts, and the people run around and glorify him, caring less about him at all, nothing about him. It's their ego feel good, hanging around him, glorifying him. But they don't care about him 1-0. But he think they do because it make him feel good. They'll glorify him. A little history according to the Daily Mail. Terence Crawford's mother paid kids to beat him up and punished the superstar with a belt during his childhood in Omaha, Nebraska, insisting it made him the success he is today. So mama taking the credit for it already. She get the glory. I had him beat up, if the story is true. That's what made him the superstar he is today. The success. Do you see that as success? Watch this from ESPN.
Omaha, to me, is home. I think that's where all the pain came from. Me going in the street, putting on the gloves, me fighting in the alleys, just a typical bad kid running the neighborhood.
What did you say when he was born?
I remember he came out with his hands balled up. Son, the son I wanted. His dad said we got $1 million baby boy.
My dad used to tell my mom I was gonna be a world champ.
I told him we wouldn't be
Terence's father, your husband, shipped out.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're here with
She
3
told him he
kids.
wasn't gonna be
What was that
asked.
like for you?
If Bud was around the corner fight, somebody gonna come and tell me. I'll go around there and get him, snatch him up, and bring him home.
And
And he know what time it was.
he got whooping.
He sure did.
What kind of whooping?
Ass whooping with a belt.
Tell me about Deborah and Terrence. It's a complicated relationship. Man, you know, she has her own ways to motivate her son. She has her own way of loving her son. But they love each other, man. They're 2 peas in the pot together. You kept telling him, "Are you never going to amount to anything?" Did you really believe it?
Some things that I said to him, I wanted him to be a man.
How'd that make you feel?
It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to her.
How'd you think he'd do?
He did good because he was around here beating up everybody in the neighborhood. I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Could none whoop him.
You went out on the street,
Yeah,
what's now Bud Crawford Street,
yeah. The
and
kids
offered
in the
$10 to anyone who can kick my son's
Yeah,
butt.
yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah,
no
the
one
kids
could
in
do
the
it.
neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop him.
What did he tell you then?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best.
A good deal of what you remember of your childhood was you getting whooped all the time by your mom.
And I was getting kicked out of school and doing bad things. I think getting whooped, that just made me immune to pain. At a point in time, it just became numb to me. Well, it ain't gonna hurt. It ain't nothing but a belt or something.
First time it hurt though.
Yeah, I was a little kid.
He was 13 when he said, Mom, you're not gonna whoop me no more. He took the belt from me.
I grabbed the belt and told her, you ain't about to hit me no more. Oh, that's out the window. I ain't getting whooped no more.
Did that change you?
No, I think I got more respect, you know, from my mom.
You once told me I was fighting for her approval, for her to tell me she was proud or happy, but she never would, so I stayed angry. Explain that to me.
When she always telling you you're gonna lose or you're not good enough or you're gonna get your ass kicked or things like that, it's like, okay. When I win this tournament, she gonna say congratulations or good job or I'm proud of you. But it never happened.
What he remembers is all those years wanting for you to say,
I love you.
yes.
Yep. Yes.
And you didn't do it.
Nope. I grew up not liking the word. Why? I don't know. Never liked the hugs growing up as a kid. I never liked nobody to kiss me growing up as a kid, and it just grew with me as I got older.
She hate that word. She said love is pain. Her support was in a different type of way, you know, it was in a negative way, but when I got older, I noticed that it was her negative way that pushed me to be great.
You still trying to prove something to your mom?
No, I think I already did all that. I proved stuff to myself now.
Amazing. That's what's happening. Different situations, but that's what's happening to every human being that comes through mama. Different situation, but the same spirit. And now she out there dancing and carrying on, getting the glory, and the boy is miserable. He's not a success. A success is when you have the courage to face what's happening inside of you and overcome it. If you have to use the word success, that's what it takes. Because the hardest thing in the world for human beings to do is to face themselves, what's happening inside of them. They're afraid, they love it, and they hate it. And yes, Terrence apparently did pretty good in boxing, but inwardly, he's miserable. And the mama is miserable too. You see, that spirit grew in her. It just grew in her. And that's what happened to every human being when you don't have perfect parents. And that spirit is passed on to you from your mother or grandmother or whatever woman. But that's what happens. And you must be born of the spirit of the Father. His father left home when he was young and left him with Satan. And Satan couldn't help herself. It was done to her as well. That's why you must forgive. Stop resenting. Now, Terrence, I don't know if he has or not, but he haven't gone and forgiven his mother. You can just look at that video. He's miserable. Look in his eyes. He's broken down. And I wonder would the mother ever admit she was wrong. 'Cause in that interview, she seemed to be proud of the hell she brought up on him. Her hell put on him. That's what every human being, different situations with different people, it's the same misery, it's the same evil spirit. And evil, anger is evil. And it's evil. There's no measure to it. It's evil. Evil is evil. And mothers who take the man's children from him, who keep the children from the father, you're evil. That's what you're doing. And you love it because it gives your ego a false sense of joy. You love the pain that it brings up on your children, his children, and him. And you do it for self-pleasure, pleasing the devil, all in the name of Jesus. Your misery is not you, folks. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. And you're not your body. You're possessed. And ain't nobody to blame but your parents for failing you, but you and you as an adult for not taking responsibility for your own life, pulling away from the crowd and overcoming it. You can overcome it. You can have paradise right here. You do not have to stay in your hell. But I understand most people will, and I'm fine with that. Stay in your hell. And in your hell, destroy your children, destroy other people, or at least try, but because what you do to yourself, do to others, you're doing to yourself. But it's up to you. Ain't nothing or nobody going to bring you perfect peace except you go and forgive. Salvations of the heart. Happy Men's History Month, huh? And men, never, ever, 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 but never, 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 ever, ever, ever show a woman your weakness. It is a destroyer for her soul. Because she would take advantage of your weakness, hate you for it, but yearn for you to be strong and destroy you. You think that mother would ever admit, the mother of Terrence Crawford, if she hasn't, you think she'd ever admit, she getting too much glory for her ego right now. She taking credit. She made him. Can you imagine a mother doing that to the child, whether it's boy or girl, having other kids beat him up, telling him he's never going to be nothing? She knowing that he want her love, which he didn't have anyway, and she would not tell him she loved him. And the father left home. He left the mother he left his son to the hell that he could not handle. And the child had to deal with the hell on his own. Look what happened. When I was growing up, though, I was raised not to show weakness, and share your weakness with a woman because they couldn't handle it. It's not in their nature. They look up to the man in the way that the man supposed to be looking up to God, right? God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children, supposed to be. And even the woman over the children is not over the children. She's watching over the children for the man, for the father. Because the direction of the instructions are coming through the man to her. And she passes them on to the children, supposedly. But never show weakness And you ain't lying about not showing weakness to a woman. You're not lying. What the? I want to know, what do you think about this post from Reddit? Sean is coming in and he's going to read it for you. My producer.
I distanced myself from my boyfriend because he cried in front of me. I have been dating my boyfriend for 8 months now. I am the type of woman who looks into dating a tall, muscular, and white or tan guys who treat me nicely, give me the attention I need, and makes me feel safe around him. My boyfriend fits all of these traits, or at least I thought so. Almost a month ago, my boyfriend cried in front of me for the first time. The reason for this was because his mother had to go to the hospital urgently as she was feeling really sick. She's fine now, don't worry. I'm not saying that it's not normal to cry when something bad happens to your loved ones, but seeing him break down and cry ruined the image I had of him, and I'll confess that this made me distance myself from him. My boyfriend realized that I am acting cold with him and asked me numerous times if he did anything wrong. I still didn't confess to him, and I really don't want this relationship to end. But if this feeling persists, I might have to open up to him and end things. I honestly don't know what to do.
Wow. Amazing. Hassan, what would you tell her to do? If you were walking down the road, she saw this halo over your head, she knew you were a son of God, and she would tell you that situation, what would your advice to her?
I would tell her that even Jesus wept.
What the?
No, I mean, I would just, I'd be like, well, that's your issue, you know? That's your deal that you built me up like, you know, like some sort of, you built me up in some sort of gladiator in your mind or whatever, and, you know, this is just what it is. This is just what happened. So if you want to have some sort of image that's been destroyed now, that's your fault.
Amazing. Hake, come here for a minute. I want to see what Hake would say before I get to Sean. Of the hate report, somebody may ask here or Nick that on the show. And Nick, come here too. I want to hear my experience on this one. So you would tell her, well, Jesus wept, and it's not my fault that you have this false image of me. That's your issue.
Yeah.
Hey, what would you say? This girl walking down the road, and she saw Hake, and his Hake report halo over him. And she knew you were son of the Father. And she said that to you about her boyfriend. What would you advise?
You'll probably judge him forever. And that's about it. That's about all I would. That's not really advice, is it? That's like feedback. That's like
because the women looking to the men for advice as to what to do in this situation.
Right. And
she see you heard what Hassan said, right?
Yeah.
He was just telling Jesus wept.
Right.
And it ain't my fault that you see me that way.
If she's, I would say, if she's concerned that he may retaliate and try to get her fired or something like that, then don't tell him. Just drop him. I don't think she would be. I would tell her that she wouldn't be wrong for breaking up with him, but she would have to. I would recommend that she address it, though.
Address it?
Yeah.
Meaning what?
Meaning, bring it up to him that it bothered her that she looks at him differently now that he cried in front of her.
Oh, okay. And you would tell her what? What was the first part?
Oh, just before that?
Yeah.
I said that she wouldn't be wrong for breaking up with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it doesn't really, in that instance, I don't see that it would be wrong or right to break up or stay.
Okay.
I think it would be probably, if anything, wrong or more wrong to stay.
Yeah. Okay. And Sean, you were walking down that same road, and she talked to these two guys, and it didn't seem to work for her. She saw your Sean producer halo of the Destiny Peterson show, and she saw that you were a son of God. This amazing producer. Halo, all this is, I'm a producer, halo.
Top tier alpha male.
Yeah, top tier. alpha producer, male, son of God, what would you say to her? She said, ask for your advice.
I'd say run as fast as you can away. It's already over. But I'd also tell her that they're both wrong. You know, she's wrong for setting up that kind of expectation of someone else. And I would say to her to go to him and be just 100% honest with him. Say, listen, this changed the way I thought of you. It's not going to work out. I'm done. I'm done with this. And then use the rest of that time after that conversation to, you know, get to know herself more.
Amazing. And you say, Hassan, you want to add or take away or anything?
I mean, no, I'd be like, good riddance. You're silly. I mean, if
I can't see you.
Oh yeah.
The world need to see you saying this.
Yeah, just, you know, I mean, it's not going to work out anyway. You know, if you have an issue with, you know, like with these silly things.
Okay.
Like if that's such a ordeal for you, like, okay, whoa, he cried. Now my whole life, everything about you and me, I'm not gonna make it through life now because you can't. I mean, it's just silly.
Okay. And Nick.
Yeah, I kind of missed the conversation a little. Sorry.
Oh, I know you run around business, so you didn't hear. Did you hear the report?
I know what's going on, but I didn't hear your answers.
Oh, okay.
I heard some of it, but I'd say.
What would you say to her? She saw you.
Well, one thing I liked
walking down the road, and you had your American anchor baby halo around your head.
Top tier alpha male.
Top tier alpha male and a son of God, and all the angels in heaven are following you.
Stop. And you were next to me telling her all that?
And
I'd
she
be like,
saw
stop.
You're embarrassing.
Stop saying all that.
And
gonna make me cry.
And she said that to you. What would your advice be?
Well, if she told me that whole story, I honestly like that she. I know it's hard for her. She's saying, "Oh, I don't want the relationship to end, but if this persists, I'm gonna have to tell him." Honestly, I really like that because most women, they would just stay and just kind of be like two lumps in a relationship, not doing anything. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it going forever. So I like that she's. It looks like she's gonna tell him if the feeling persists, she's gonna tell him. So I like that about the whole thing. Honestly, I have no take because it's almost natural what's going on here. Like, it is kind of. I don't know if anybody said, but he's crying over his mother being sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to sound big tough guy like I wouldn't cry, but it's kind of silly to cry over that a little bit.
I cried over you. What a fool I've been.
He's out of breath.
Huh? Like, at least in public, like maybe to yourself.
Your turn. What?
Anchor baby sounds out of breath.
I know, I was running.
He was running around getting something together out there. It's your turn to cry over me. So would you tell her to stay or leave?
Oh, stay or go. Sure. Hey, I don't know. How's that any of my business? I guess.
Well, she asked.
I guess. She said she. Well, she said
it's not your business if
okay,
she
fair
doesn't
enough.
come and ask, but she see you walking down the road.
Fair enough.
You have this American anchor baby halo.
Because she told me in this story, she told me she wants to stay, and that's what she wants to do. That she should.
No, she would ask, "What should I do?"
Correct, and she said that she doesn't want the relationship to end. She said that in the post.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she said, "I really don't want this relationship to end, but if the feeling persists, then I have to bring it up." There it is, right there. That's perfect course of action. You want to keep the relationship, all right? Then see it through, see how the feeling persists, and then deal with that when that happens.
Okay, amazing.
And she wants to.
She's never going to forget that this happened. You know, 20 years down the road, she's still going to remember that this happened. It seems to have a real effect on her.
Yeah, amazing.
So, yeah.
And you think she should go?
Yeah.
Any addition?
I think nothing to add.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there is one thing that we haven't addressed. The fact that she posted this on Reddit asking for advice. People people tend to do that. That's one thing that I don't know if that's natural, Nick. Everything else, yeah. What she's going through, yeah. But posting it on Reddit, it is kind of a natural, given that people do that nowadays.
So this is a true story?
If it's a true story. But
we're assuming.
We're
assuming.
Whoa.
What?
You never know.
You can't
You
say
never
that.
know for
Right.
sure. You never know for sure.
Right.
But just
seems
it's
like a true
plausible.
story because it's so real and
right.
Yeah.
Just like that Terrence Crawford story was the story of every guy, every guy and their mother. This is like the
Yeah.
story of every boyfriend and girlfriend.
That Terrence Crawford story is of every guy in the whole wide world.
I'm not saying that it's not anonymous. It is anonymous. Like, it's unlikely she'll get doxxed.
Right.
That we'll
okay.
find out who it is. But asking especially Reddit's a bunch of liberals.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And so that part of it is, I mean, it makes for a good show content for sure.
Let me ask Sean real fast because of time.
I'm not mad.
Sean, you said her expectations was wrong?
Yeah.
And what do you mean by that?
I mean that she has all these ideas about what her perfect man would look like. She said, "Oh, I'm looking for a tall, muscular, tan, but maybe white, but maybe tan,
strong man."
Strong man.
That treats me right.
That's the natural expectation of all women in a man. They're looking for a strong man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And so they can't help it. It's in their nature. They'll take a weak man because of their ego, and they'll destroy him, but they will want him to be strong.
I wonder if this boyfriend was physically strong or not.
Well,
Tall, muscular.
But not just physically strong, but emotionally strong, too.
Right.
And a man that tell the woman his problem and cry carrying on is weak. But anyway, I would tell her, if she saw me and ask, I would tell her, yeah, tell him about it and then leave. Because you're right, she's never going to forget the weakness. And the weakness is not something he's just going to overcome just because she want him to,
right,
or need him to. So I would tell her, don't be angry. Don't resent him if he can't help it. That's the mama in him, but leave.
Right. And it was his mom, too, that he was upset about.
Right.
Which
yeah, he cried
which makes
over
it that
mama.
that much worse,
A mama's boy. I mean, like, what? He's looking for another mama. I would say, hey, yeah, don't resent him. I would let him know why you're leaving. Pack your bags and leave, and don't look for another man. Look for what is right. Because that's all she ever going to end up with, weak men, as long as she's looking.
And do you think that, girls who don't grow up with their real father in the house, do you think that, how do I put this? Like, do you think that that their standard of strength would ever be met? Like, no matter how strong, inner and outer, a man could possibly be, would it ever meet her expectations for what that is?
If she met a man who has overcome the spirit of mama, and she had an expectation of him, but she's still in her fallen state, that man can definitely bring her out of that fallen state. The only reason he couldn't bring her out if she didn't want to come out. Maybe she loved her hell,
right,
and she doesn't want to overcome that hell, and nothing anyone can do about that. But the strength is not his anyway. It would bring out the hell in her she can overcome. Because he wouldn't need her. He wouldn't be trying to get anything from her. He wouldn't need her. He can take it or leave it. So there's nothing for him to lose because he's already fulfilled with the perfect love of God, right?
Mm.
And so in that, it wouldn't bother him if she overcame or not. And that will cause her to overcome. Isn't that amazing?
Deep.
It's beautiful. So her son would just tell me, what, that's your problem.
I mean, if she leaves...
She's a whelp, too.
If she leaves because of that, she was never there.
No, she leaves because it's like a man need a guy, right? And nothing else worked for him.
Stay close. You're talking away from your
it's
mic.
It's like a man need God, and nothing else worked for him. You know how I told men when you date, on your very first date, ask the woman, let's say you're over at the cafe, you're sitting there, ask the woman, you ordered dinner, and ask, if we should get married, would you obey me? Very first date. And if she says no, get up and leave. Okay, thank you, bye. and let her take an Uber home. What?
Run, Forrest, run.
I'm telling you, it's spiritual, and people don't understand that evil is serious about being evil, good is serious about being good. And men are to represent good on earth, the light. Anyway, anything before I go?
Once she sees that weakness, she's just going to spiral and make all kinds of assumptions or go into her imagination about other ways he's weak and things like that.
The test is on.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in him to help her overcome anyway.
Right.
And she need that.
Yep.
Nice.
And then the fight that they have, the big fight that they have 15 years down the road, she's going to bring it up. You were crying in front of you were crying in front of me.
Yeah. You cried over your mama.
Yeah.
Remember that? Now you're trying to act like you're strong. You cried over mama.
Yeah, even if he does get better, she probably wouldn't see it.
Right. She wouldn't.
Yeah.
She won't let her see it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, Nick.
Last words. I mean, I think the flip side is true as well. Satan plays both sides. He'll also she'll see weakness and be like, "No, that was a weakness. He's strong."
Right. Stay there, just
stay there.
Yeah, there's a temptation to feel like, oh, it's sad, it's unfortunate that a breakup happens, but it's not. It's better. It's better that it happens now than problems keeping each other in hell.
Because Satan makes you think, oh,
or
bad.
keeping
He
yourself
love you, don't leave. It was mama. And Satan to tell you, stay here so you can really destroy him now.
But they're just using each other.
Okay. Don't leave me. He love you. No, he don't. He doesn't.
Terrible.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.